Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be recording the third episode in our Tazkabaz save file series. Now, if you don't know what this is, I am basically doing a save file on the Sims 4. So I'm going to be rebuilding every single lot in every single world that comes with the game. Now, I like to think that I'm half decent at building, but I am not good at create a sim, and I want every lot that I build to have a family moved into it. So I need you lot to create some Sims, create a set of Sims, create a family, create a couple, whatever you want to create, upload them to the gallery, give them a backstory, and when you upload them, use the hashtag Tazkabaz save file, and every house that I create in this save file will be based on one of your Sims. So a good, decent backstory is important, so it gives me something to work with. And I hope that you enjoy the video. If you do, give it a like, pop a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button as well. Let's get started, and I'm going to introduce you to the third save file family. Okay, so this is the Adcock family, and they are made up of Camille Adcock, who is married to her husband Dawson, and Dawson and Camille live under the same roof as Dawson's mother, Lauren Adcock. Now, these Sims were created by Posty_Simmer on the gallery. And the story behind it is that Lauren is extremely close to her son Dawson, so much so that she lives with Dawson and Camille. Now, Camille is an extremely driven woman. She's very focused on her career. She knows exactly what she wants. She wants to focus on her journalism and improve that and become financially stable before her and Dawson have children. However, Lauren wants grandchildren, and she is desperate for Camille and Dawson to provide grandchildren for her. Now, Dawson likes to stay at home, and he likes to craft and build furniture to sell it on Plopsy. He basically doesn't want to disappoint his mum, so what I gather, maybe he's kind of stuck in the middle between Lauren wanting grandchildren and Camille basically wanting to focus on her career before even thinking about having children. And so we're basically left wondering whether Lauren's push for the grandchildren is going to tear the family and the couple apart. Understandably, Camille wants to focus on her career and make sure that everything is good and financially she is well before even thinking about having children, which is fair enough. But obviously Lauren is trying to desperately get her son and his wife to have grandchildren. So we are going to be moving the Adcocks into Daisy Hovel in Willow Creek. At the moment, this property is 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom. Obviously, we want to make it 2 bedroom, maybe 2 bathroom. We want to make sure to include some bits for Camille and her journalism career so she can pursue that. And we also want to give Dawson some bits for crafting and things like that. Now, since Camille has quite a successful career as a journalist, I think I am going to give them between a 30 to 40 grand simoleon budget. Obviously, the last 2 houses, I've kind of done starter homes and just used the budget, the 20 grand that they had. But I think for this one, since there's 3 Sims living together, we will give them a 40 grand budget and leave a little bit, just enough for them to start off with as well, if people do download the save file. And I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so with this house, I did a similar thing with the first episode in the save file, where I completely deleted absolutely everything in the house and then kind of edited the build itself rather than completely bulldozing it and knocking it down like I did in the first episode. Sorry, the second episode. Now, the house, again, like the other ones, was a bit of a weird shape, to be quite honest with you. I was not keen on it at all. And I did want to extend it, of course, because this is going to be a 2-bedroom home for Lauren to have a room in, and then for Camille and Dawson to have a room as well. So I played around a lot with the shape and with the roofing as well. That took me a while to get right. We did end up having just over 40 grand budget once I deleted everything that's in the house as well. As I had seen in a lot of comments on the last video, is that you lot were saying that given a budget, sometimes it's going to be necessary for these houses. So in the first episode, I did ask you lot, like, would you like me to stick with the budgets, you know, the starter home budget, or would I be able to add amounts to the lot and how much we had? And you lot said it kind of depends on the house, it depends on the lot, it depends on the family and their backstory as well. So I felt in this particular scenario where we've got 3 people living together, we've got Lauren, who is the mother of Dawson. We don't know what she did in when she was younger. We don't know what job she would have, or would have had even. I'd imagine she would probably be retired now. but we don't know what job she would have had or how much money she would have brought in. We can only kind of assume. But we've also got Camille, who is a successful journalist. She is in her journalism career. She's absolutely loving it, and you know, is probably in her doing really fantastic. And maybe even is at the peak of her career. So I did give them a 40 grand amount to work with. I probably could have even given them more, but I do think that I made a decent house with the budget that we did have. Now, for this particular house, I went with a brown and cream kind of exterior, and I think it was quite cute in the end. So the other two houses that I've made for the save file, the first one was kind of a grey and white, I believe, on the outside, and then the second one was an all black, grey and white design. So this one I decided to go with like a brown and cream, and I'm really happy with it. So I did actually change a lot of this. So at the moment it's quite creamy and a light kind of brown, and I did end up changing it so it was like a dark brown, and it had more dark wood tones. So the entire lot does change a tiny bit, but I did really like it. I actually really did like the story as well of having so you've got husband and wife, Camille and Dawson, and having the mum living with them, so Dawson's mum. I thought that was really cool. So I kind of was wondering how the story developed. Like, how did Dawson's mum Lauren end up living with them? Is this maybe Lauren's house and Camille and Dawson have moved in with them until they can afford to get their own house? Or is it Camille and Dawson's house and Lauren has moved in with them because she doesn't have anywhere to live? You just don't know. I mean, the design of the house on the outside is quite cottagey, I would say, with like the dark browns and kind of a very cosy, comfy cottage vibes I was kind of getting with this build. I did end up doing a brown picket fence out the front as well, which kind of adds to, I suppose, the cottagey, homely aspect of the build. So maybe it is Lauren's house. Maybe it is Lauren's house and she has allowed Dawson and Camille to move in with them. Or maybe Dawson has lived with her the whole time and Camille has moved in as Dawson's wife until they're ready to move out and until they become financially stable to live on their own. You just don't know. You just don't know. There's lots of ways that you can interpret this story, and that is what I love. That is literally what I love about these Sims and doing this save file, because you lot are giving me like a base Sim or a base set of Sims to work with, and their story can be developed in so many ways. So in a lot of these, you lot are telling me, say, a certain story, but there's like, this is someone's life. Like, there's going to be so much more to this story that I don't know. So like how they grew up, like what was Dawson like as a child? We don't know. And was Lauren maybe a single mum raising Dawson? Or, you know, was she in a relationship? Was she widowed? You just do not know. And I think it's great. I think it's so great because it's open to interpretation. And all of these save file stories are definitely open to interpretation. So with the inside of this build, I did decide that I did want to do 2 bedrooms, obviously. So one for Camille and Dawson, and then one for Lauren, Dawson's mum. I ended up giving them both en-suites, so they didn't have to share bathrooms. So they could just use their separate bathrooms, which would be really cool. I do think if you're living, say, with a stepmom or whatever, you're going to want to have your own space, and you're going to want to have your own bathroom, especially. I think as much as you might get on and everything, you do need that element of space. So that's what I did. I gave them both 2 separate bedrooms, 2 separate bathrooms, and then they had a shared space in the main room. So in Camille and Dawson's bedroom, that is where I put Camille's space. So she had her desk where she would do her work. She even had a little notepad there as well for her journalism to write things down. Oh, also, I did start with the kitchen here. I started by using Jungle Adventure counters, but then I realised I wanted to get to use the new kits. So I completely scrapped that and decided to do the new kits. and use them. Speaking of which, I really do like them. They came out the other day, a couple of days ago from when I'm recording this, and I love them so much. Well, to be fair, I do like the idea of the gameplay one with the dust bunnies and everything and adding dust into the game. And I think that one's really cool, but the Creator Sim one I won't use, but the Country Kitchen one I love. I really do love the items. I think the detail that came with them and like the bits of clutter with the potato bag and the casserole dish are just fantastic. I think they've really smashed it on this one because it just looks amazing. And then all of the colour swatches as well, I really do like. So such a brilliant thing. And I'm very intrigued to know what other kits they're going to be bringing in. Will there be a toilet paper pack? Who knows? I guess we'll have to wait and see. So yes, we had this shared kitchen space, and then I had a bar area, an island bar area where they could eat their food and everything. And also in this main living space I added a lounge area, but it was quite an odd shape. It was a bit of a really odd shape actually. So the TV space was kind of right near the front door, and I wanted to section that off a little bit. And then we had Dawson's space for his Plopsy. So obviously he likes to stay at home and he crafts and builds different furniture items and different things that he can sell on Plopsy. So he needed his own space and he needed his own desk to work at to sell his items. So in the corner of the room I did give him a little space with some knitting bits and use the new well, it's not new anymore, but the nifty knitting items for him to have his career selling items on Plopsy. And then, as I said, obviously Camille had her desk in their bedroom. So I suppose she can get away while he's working in the main room. She can get away into the bedroom and do her work from there as well. Obviously, she would probably be going into work and staying out of the house. But when she is at home, if she needs to do things from home, then at least she has that there. And then with Lauren, we didn't really know what she got up to. So I didn't know whether to give her a skill that she can do or whether to decorate her room in a certain way. So I ended up decorating her room just for how I would imagine like an elderly woman maybe to live in, or a grandma. This particular room on this side of the build is for Camille and Dawson, obviously with the journalist space for Camille to work at, and then they have their own private ensuite as well. I did give Lauren some planters in the back garden because maybe she likes gardening. I'd imagine she's retired, so perhaps she stays at home a lot more, maybe likes to do a little bit of gardening. And maybe she's part of social clubs. Maybe she likes to meet her friends, go out to clubs and do different things like that. You just don't know. You do not know the story, so I guess it can be developed in any way, as I said earlier. Now, the space in the bedrooms was getting a little bit tight, so I wanted to try and find a way to incorporate the door into the ensuite, as well as like a dresser and a mirror, and of course Camille's desk for her work. The bathrooms, I gave them the essentials, so they had the shower, sink, toilet, etc., toilet roll, and everything like that. When I actually got to Lauren's bathroom, I did realise that I was running out of cash, and I noticed that I spent about over £1,000 on a painting in her bedroom, which I did end up having to delete. With these Sims, I do like to give them a starting fund as well. So whatever amount that I give them to create their house and to furnish their house, I like to include their starter fund in them. So if people do download the save file when it's all finished, God knows how long, at least those Sims do have a fund to start off with, and then they can go and get their jobs and do whatever to increase those funds. So when I was working on Lauren's bedroom and her bathroom, I did end up having to delete a fair few things just to ensure they had that starter fund. Now, Lauren's bedroom I did find to be quite cosy and quite comfy. I did a lot of moving around to try and fit makeup desk in. What do you call it? What's it called? Like a makeup counter. You know the word. I'll remember the word when I'm watching this back. And obviously I wanted to include some sort of dresser for changing clothes and everything like that. At one point, I did add one of those old record player things, I think they're called, in her room, but then I realised that was getting too expensive and we needed to do some bits in the garden and the bathroom as well, so I did actually delete that. Now, her bedroom, surprisingly, is a lot more kind of modern than Camille and Dawson's. But I thought maybe they had like an extension, and maybe they modernized the bedroom up a little bit when they were building the house or whatever. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they only had one bathroom in the beginning, and maybe they shared Camille and Dawson's bathroom that's in their bedroom, and they added an extension to the house so that Lauren could have her own bathroom. So that's why it's kind of black and white modern. But I thought it was quite cute. I thought it all turned out quite cute in the end. I also did end up adding a washing machine as well in her bathroom, and we added a washing line in the back garden so that they can do their washing, and if you have laundry day you can use that as well. But overall, I did really love how the build turned out, as hard as it may be. And I did love the story of Camille and Dawson living with Dawson's mum Lauren, and everything about that. Okay, and here we've got the finished Daisy Hovel for our Adcock family. I'm not gonna lie, I actually found this one harder than the first two. I think it was like the shape and then making sure everything was in it. So for Camille in the bedroom, I wanted to make sure she had her desk for her journalism career. So we added that. And then for Dawson, obviously, who is creating a business on Plopsy, selling crafts and knitting and things like that, we added his desk and his areas of space. And with Lauren, Dawson's mum, I didn't really know what to give her because she's obviously a part of the story, but I didn't know really what she likes and dislikes. So I did add some planters in the garden, so maybe she can take up gardening, perhaps. But as hard as I did find the build, I did really enjoy it, and I'm quite happy with how it turned out. And I am super excited for the next episode in our save file. I hope that you lot enjoyed this video. If you did, then give it a like, let me know what you think down in the comments, and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more from me. So I'm going to be trying to upload these save file builds a little bit more frequently. I'm going to kind of play it by ear and see how much I can get done, when I can record, things like that. But I hope you lot are loving this series, because I am absolutely loving it. And a big thank you to everyone that is uploading Sims to the gallery for the save file. Thank you again for watching. Take care and have a lovely rest of your day. Taz out.